Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Just Like You show. I am your host, Alexis Christine, and I am a spiritual mindset coach and Reiki master, helping women break through their limiting beliefs, rewire their brain, and manifest the life of their dreams. Just Like You is a podcast for all of the divine souls looking for guidance on their healing and ascension journey. We explore the depths of the universe, hold space for vulnerable conversations about spirituality and self-development, delve into the esoteric things like how to manifest, star seeds, the astral realm, and shed light on taboo topics such as plant medicine and so much more. I am honored that you are here to take this journey with me. I want everyone listening to be able to leave each episode feeling inspired and having learned something tangible to take away into their day-to-day life. If you feel called to work with me or explore this work deeper, please reach out at imalexischristine.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at iam.alexischristine. Hello, my beautiful divine brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the Just Like You show. I am your host, Alexis Christine, and today we are talking all about acceptance, learning how to feel and release emotions, and other somatic healing practices. And I have the most amazing guest with me. Her name is Carly, and she has lived through this experience firsthand and now coaches people on how to do this themselves. She's gone from absolute rock bottom feelings of suicide and ending her life to being happy and excited and in alignment and fulfillment in where she is now. And it's such an amazing story. And I'm so excited for you guys to listen to all of the tips and tricks and methods that she shares, because I really think it could be useful for so many people. And I'm so excited. Before we get into the episode, I do want to just say a big thank you for all of you who tune in every single week. We have reached over 500 downloads, which I know for some really big podcasts probably isn't a lot, but I honestly didn't even think people would start listening to this when I put it out. I just really wanted to share and trusted that it would resonate with the right people. And I'm ecstatic that it's actually reached 500. Like, that's insane. So I'm really excited about it. Thank you guys so much. If you could please rate the podcast, that would be super helpful in ranking us and getting it out to more people. And for all of you women who are on your spiritual self-growth journey and want to have a like-minded community of other females who are supporting each other, nurturing each other, and helping one another heal trauma and just grow as yourself fully into alignment, please do check out my Facebook group, Ascension Goddesses. It's just that name on Facebook. You can also find it on my Instagram page in the link in my bio. So if you guys are interested, please go ahead and check that out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Talk to you later. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Just Like You show. I am your host, Alexis Christine, and my guest today is a lovely lady called Carly. She has been on such an intense emotional and mental journey with her different struggles that she's been through and has now made it out the other side. And she used some key things that we're going to be chatting about today. So I don't want to give it all away, but hi, Carly. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm pretty good, thank you very much. Excited. This
Good.
is my first ever podcast. So.
Oh, that is so exciting. Well, thank you for coming on Just Like You show and allowing us to be that first experience for you. That's super exciting.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Um, Out of curiosity, just a quick little question. Do you know what your sun, moon, and rising are?
I'm a Leo.
Yeah. Okay.
That's as far as I know.
Okay. So what I just talked to you about before we started recording with the Lionsgate portal, big Leo energy, like it's literally in Leo right now. So this will be a very good time for you. You should
Oh,
definitely
amazing.
utilize it.
Amazing.
Okay. Do you want to give everyone a little bit of background on you, your cultural upbringing, just a little bit of like who you are?
Yeah, sure. So I grew up I mean, I guess everyone feels like they're normal, but I had like quite a humble beginning. I lived in a council
Hmm.
estate with my mum. My mum is an English white lady. My dad is from the Caribbean, so he was
Oh,
like
fun.
first generation immigrant. Yeah, just went to a normal sort of state school. Played out a lot. There was a lot of, what would I say? I guess looking back now, I would kind of call it a bit of neglect going on, but I was always outside,
Mm.
wandering around, like far from home sometimes, and just sort of getting myself all dirty and playing with kids and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I guess I would sort of say it was a normal upbringing, just to a certain degree. And then
Yeah.
the things that you might think are normal, but you realize when you grow up that they're not happening in everyone's house, I guess. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting though because like I had the same kind of childhood where I was outside playing a lot, and like
Mm.
granted I lived in a suburb, not the city, but it's you don't really get that now because there's screens everywhere and like parents are so much more paranoid. So like I think back then it actually might have been a little bit normal.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so funny. And okay, so we talked a little bit before about this journey that you went through where you basically were, I mean, I don't want to say rock bottom, but you were in a very intense place with your emotions and
Mm.
your mental health, and you were able to kind of work your way through it. You tried a bunch of different things and you basically persevered and are now just living like
Yeah.
so at peace with everything and like able to actually handle your emotions when they come up and like you've really learned how to just harness and utilize them rather than letting them like
Mm.
affect you.
Mm.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Tell us your story. How did you do this?
Oh my God. Okay. So, gosh, I feel like I've had, since I would say my teens, just mental health issues that I didn't realize that I had then because I was
Hmm.
young and like all this trauma stuff. It's quite trendy now, isn't it? Really, but
Yeah.
there was no internet then, and there was like none of that talk. But I would have sort of problems, kind of keeping jobs, keeping friends, always feeling hurt by people or let
Hmm.
down by people. I was bullied at school, and I was always kind of going out with the wrong kind of boys. I would get hopelessly attached to people who were unavailable.
Oh, yes.
It didn't occur to me that they
Same.
were unavailable. There was always some sort of strange, they'd be really interested in me, but they'd maybe have another girlfriend and they'd be all over me. And I couldn't seem to get my head around the fact that I'm not special. If they're all over me, I must be special. So that kind of followed me through most of my life. That's that odd pattern that I had there.
Hmm.
But by the time I sort of got into my 20s, I was doing a lot of drinking, partying, lots of fast burning relationships.
Hmm.
But I kind of always thought was other people's fault, really. Like, God, why are these men such idiots? Blah 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 blah. And then in my late 20s, I went off on a cruise ship. I'm a singer. Well, I was,
Oh,
and
fun.
yeah, it was great. So I got this job on a cruise ship, and everything kind of mentally went to. Am I allowed to swear? I was
Oh
going to
yeah, of
say that.
course. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it went to shit basically. So I was kind of struggling with. I was feeling afraid of people. I was in my cabin, like isolated all the time.
Hmm.
I wasn't. I was kind of having some relationships with men, but obviously people were getting on and off these ships, so it was all. But I started to notice that when I got close to people, I was terrified. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I started to become really avoidant, and it just got really kind of intense and messy. And I ended up this one night. I did two contracts, and this on the second contract, I put my life jacket on because I was fed up. I was basically wanted to go to the top of the ship and jump
Oh
and
my
just
gosh.
kind of. I put the life jacket on because I didn't want to drown, but I figured that I would get hypothermia and die.
Ah.
Yeah, so I was kind of crying on the floor this one night, and I I didn't have the balls to basically do that.
Hmm.
But I sort of, yeah, I just realized, oh my God, there's issues going on here. So that was kind
Yeah.
of like the first sort of episode I had with realizing that I'm not kind of functioning in a straightforward way. And then after a couple of years after I got off the ship, oh my God, I met this guy who's married. That went
Classic.
to shit, obviously, as it
Yeah.
would. And I keep attracting these married guys, but that relationship really kind of pulled all my threads apart. And I ended up kind of sitting on a massive, what I didn't know at the time, a huge amount of grief that I didn't want to feel.
Hmm.
So I kind of fell out with that man, met another one like straight away. And I ended up having two kids with this guy. He was quite a decent guy, really. But yeah, we had two kids kind of really quickly together.
Hmm.
And it was after having the children that, well, the second baby specifically, I started to feel like I was falling apart. Like I was jumpy and shouting and crying for nothing, or someone would drop a
Yeah.
cornflake or spill some water, and it would be making me kind of fall in a puddle of tears and feel like the whole world was caving in on me. That relationship didn't work out. We split up. I ended up on my own with the two. They were quite small. I think one was 2 and one was 4 at that time.
Wow.
And so it would just be me and them. And I would notice that all day I was like just having all these emotional outbursts and feeling stressed, and I'd be kind of really controlling and trying to sort of just micromanage them, and it was stressful, and I couldn't stop. I was like, what am I doing? And I was feeling suicidal. Like, this went on for like 2 years.
Wow.
I was talking to doctors, and someone said at one point, "Oh, I think you sound like you're bipolar." When I kind of read into it, I was like, "Yeah, I can see some similarities," but that didn't feel true because it was I was up fine on my own, like I'm
Hmm.
completely normal by myself. So I just started noticing this seems to happen when I'm specifically around these two little people who are shouting, and they're irrational and impatient, and I guess if
Kids,
they were adults, they'd be
basically.
kind of set there if they were sort of 20 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, but so anyway, after being really unhappy with what the medical system was sort of trying to say, and like, "Oh, take these tablets and this," I was like,
Oh,
something doesn't feel right. Yeah, so I'm a very, very deep person. I always like to get to the deepest levels of things. It's kind of comes into my spirituality as well. I was like, there has to be a reason that this is happening. Um, and so I just started to become a detective. I got a pen and paper, and I remember being in the kitchen one day, and my little boy started to like make these really loud noises, shout, and I think he was banging something. And then I don't know whether he got into a little bit of an argument with his sister, and I felt this trigger. It was kind of almost like rage, I guess. But I started writing like, "Oh, this happened, and he said this, and then this said this," and then I started to notice my stomach was like, it felt like it was shrinking, as if the blood was kind of all rushing into my organs.
wow.
And then how you have like a personal space,
Hmm.
a
Like your bubble.
circle, yeah,
Yeah.
your bubble. The bubble would expand like double in size. And so anything in it, any person in it, it would kind of feel agonizing, like almost like someone's burning my skin. And then I would be really jumpy and sensitive. And I was like, wow, this feels like a trauma response, like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I realized every time that there's conflict in my house and things are getting loud, my body is going into this terror. Um, and I started to be able to kind of connect it. When I was little, my father, he beat my mum up, basically. I was like 4, and I was asleep, and I woke up to this banging and shouting. And my dad had ended up like dragging my mum, and then he got her on the floor and was on top of her, like strangling her. And there was this
Wow.
banging. I always remember the banging noise. And part of them were kind of obscured by the banister, so I couldn't see all of her. I could just see her feet kind of raising up and then hitting the floor. I think she was
Mm.
stiff trying to get him off her, but it was terrifying, obviously. I don't.
I got chills. I'm so sorry that you had to witness that.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, so I think that, and then my dad was always shouting. I
Mhm.
remember when I could hear them, when you can hear an argument just starting to brew and the escalation, the
Yes,
voices go a bit higher pitched and a bit
very
louder.
well.
Yeah, I remember I used to scream out like, "No, no, no, mommy, daddy, stop, stop, stop," and they didn't. They never stopped. And so I kind of figured out that when my kids go into what sounds to me like conflict,
Mm.
or bang too much, I go into some kind of terror, like fight or flight. And for
Yeah.
me, the fight mode was the strongest. So I'd get shouty and controlling, and wow. And it was so, so intense. It took me a while to get a handle on it. But because I'd sort of found out like fight or flight mode, trauma, I started looking into more. I'm quite a natural sort of person. So I was like, okay, what ways have we got to deal with this? And I came across this thing called somatic experiencing. And I was really drawn to it. So I'd had a couple of sessions with someone, and we basically just follow the physical sensations in the body and disconnect from the thinking.
Hmm.
Um, and I sort of studied that for a bit, and then I kind of read loads of videos and read loads of books about trauma, etc., and kind of put my own picture together. And I'd found another modality that was the same with somatic experiencing, but they added another layer of inquiry, because what they said is that all these um, any contraction in the body comes along with thought, like
Hmm.
a sentence maybe, but you don't hear it. And so they were able to, by asking certain questions, or maybe reversing. So, say, like if I said, "I'm not afraid right now," another voice inside will go, "Yes, I am." And it might bring up some information. And
So
so,
did you not find that the somatic healing on its own was enough? Is that why you went searching for more?
yeah, because my feelings were because it was so intense. Like the
Okay.
body thing wasn't enough because I could
Yeah.
feel that there's more going on than just stuff in the body. Like I wanted more answers. And so when I don't there's a bit of a haziness here, but somehow I got into like this whole sort of inner work and this inquiry. So I started asking questions to myself, like when I was in a trauma,
Hmm.
like what am I afraid of, or what's going on, or what are they doing, or something like that. And there will be an answer like, oh, they're trying to get me, or they hate me, or
Ah.
that there was just some words with it.
Your subconscious is just like throwing them out.
Yeah. And so I started to realize, long story short, basically, that I had some sentences, core ones, like nobody loves me.
Hmm.
Um, I'm hated. I'm not, I'm bad. That was quite a big one for me. And I'm unliked. And
Yeah.
what else? There was another one. I could never quite find the word, but it had a disgusting feeling to it. Like there was this very unsavory. I just felt like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
And it's
every time, yeah.
interesting because we're reflections, right? The world reflects everything back to us. So when you're
Mm,
talking about all your relationships, like if those were how you were feeling about yourself, that's what you're going to reflect back in with everyone that you're dating. So
yeah.
like it's
And not
all
letting,
connected
yeah. And then say some of the guys that maybe were available, I was running
on
from
it.
them.
Yeah.
I didn't respect them. I was kind of mean to them or pushing them away. So it's
Yeah.
like I felt so unlovable and disgusting inside that and the fear of abandonment, that I'm just
Yeah.
basically pushing everyone away or going with men that are abandoning me. And yeah, but I just kind of figured all of that out through this body work and through this inquiry and recognizing my core sentences. And you start to see them everywhere, right? Like
Yeah.
with my mom, or at work, or people on the cruise ship, and when my kids do this, or my ex. Oh, we were arguing a lot as well at one point. But I always noticed it was coming down to those little thoughts being triggered in. So once I'd figured that out, I was able to sit with the horribly intense sensations in my body and hear those thoughts and in present moment awareness. So,
Hmm.
like being kind of disconnected from both, but fully present in them and watch them. And then over time, I noticed that there was more space and I didn't have to start shouting at people. um, and it didn't mean that I felt great. I still had to, so I'd be able to do something like, hey, kids, mummy's triggered again. I need to go upstairs for 5 minutes, leave me alone,
Hmm.
instead of shouting at them.
So
Right. Which,
can you explain, you mentioned that like you were sitting with it in the present and like just watching them go by. Can you explain a little bit about like what that is or how you do that? Because I feel like for the
yeah,
listener who's not familiar, that
yeah.
probably just went right over their heads, and that's such a key part of this.
Yeah, so basically, say in a moment, if you find yourself triggered, what it looked like for me was, first of all, just recognizing and acknowledging that there's a trigger present.
Before the
And
reaction.
yeah,
Okay.
so as soon as the body has a reaction, which you always feel that first, you know
Mhm.
you're angry because you feel angry. So
Yeah.
there would always be a physical response before the verbal one. So as soon as I could feel that, I would acknowledge that and then remove myself, say, like, go upstairs to my room, sit down on the bed or the floor, and breathe. Very important. These deep, slow breaths, and literally put 100% of my attention into the body where the sensation is taking place and
Mhm.
just allow it, basically, just allow it to be there. And then sometimes, if the sentence was already sort of obvious, like, I'm sometimes it could just be like, I'm so angry right now. I would kind of see that written
Mhm.
and just sit with, in my mind's eye, the words, I'm so angry right now, and feel my body where the anger is, and just be with it,
Interesting.
breathing. And
Okay.
there's something in that, like some part of you, maybe the child inside, it's as if an adult has sat down with them and not judged them or told them off, just been with them and allowed them to feel fucking angry.
Yeah.
um, without judgment. And so this practice kind of brought this natural acceptance. Whereas I'm not thinking, oh, this is wonderful and oh, I love and accept you, but I wasn't resisting and pushing it away. I
Hmm.
was with it. And yeah, that kind of turned my life around.
That
I
is so
still get triggered,
amazing.
obviously. I
Oh,
still
of
have,
course.
hmm,
Yeah. Like that, I don't think that will ever end for anyone, no matter how much work we do on ourselves. We
Mm,
just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And so like we think that we healed one thing and then it's like another thing just comes and smacks you in the face and it's like, okay, here we go again. On to the
yeah,
next one.
yeah, yeah.
That is, and you just did this all like through self-research,
Yes. And
essentially.
then I may find some practitioner that I've really resonated with and have a session or two to get
Hmm.
a feel for the work and then just get on with it. I'm quite like one of these people that's really competent. Like if I once I know how to do something, I'm and it's benefiting me, I'll do it. And
Hmm.
obviously I didn't have much money. I mean, this for me, the traumas have always made it difficult for me to keep jobs or feel worthy of making money. So
Yep.
I didn't always have the resources, but I would be able to scrape together, enough money to maybe have a little block of 4 sessions or whatever, and then kind of be on my own and just be dedicated to continuing that work. So
And
yeah,
was this, so when you say you'd be on your own and be dedicated to the work, was this something that you could just go to your room like in an evening and just work on, or did you have to wait to be triggered in order to actually put it into practice?
I think a bit of both
Okay.
because if you sometimes, I mean, if you sit thinking about something for long enough, you can re-trigger yourself anyway. Your body will offer up feelings if it gets triggered by even thoughts. I mean, it's
Mhm.
thought anyway that's do
Yeah.
the triggering. So, but mostly it was effective in the moment. I mean,
Okay.
even if you're out, you could be driving, or even if you're at work, you can always kind of, even if you're standing talking to someone else, there is a way of becoming present, almost kind of maybe hovering above yourself and just watching from above, or just become the observer. There's always a space to do that.
Hmm.
So obviously, in the moment is kind of best, but I was sort of any opportunity really. I kind of got a bit obsessed at one point.
And how long would you say that this whole process took you? Like I know the process never really ends, but from when you started this to when you were actually able to see changes in your day to day and how you were handling the triggers, like how long did that take and how often would you say you were practicing until that point?
That's a good question. Oh gosh. Oh, it's weird because it wasn't linear because there'd be moments because I would say, I mean, I'm self-diagnosed, but I believe that I've suffered really with complex PTSD. Well, I still do complex PTSD. And
Mm,
so there's times when it felt like I couldn't do anything for a while. So I'd have to just honor that. And like sometimes you can get so obsessed with doing the work, you have to give yourself a chance to breathe. But
yeah.
I would say maybe 6 months when I really felt like, okay, so there's a change where I could look back and see it. And maybe even straight away, a few weeks when I realized, oh wow, my sort of there's a gap between my trigger and then what I do about it. Because
Mm,
sometimes I could maybe sit with it for a while, but the energy was so potent that maybe 20 minutes later it would shoot out sideways. But
yeah.
that 20 minutes was like, wow, okay, there's something changing. And I think when trauma's been trapped in you for so long, the energy wants to find a way out. Right, this is why we go
Yes.
crazy and start shouting or whatever we do. So
Yeah.
it will still kind of shoot out in one direction or another.
And it also can come out in like illness, like if you get constant headaches or if you like have digestion problems or like
Mm.
I know this is going to be very controversial. People might not agree with this, but even cancer, like
Oh god,
people
yeah.
people can literally give themselves diagnoses of things because they're holding it in for so long and that energy is just festering and it needs somewhere to go. It needs somewhere
Mm.
to get out.
Mm.
So,
I think science actually now is just about at the point where they're recognizing that stored emotion causes chronic illness. Like certainly
yeah.
within like chronic pain, that's often related to like repressed anger.
Hmm. I mean,
Mm.
I'm so for this. Like I look at the research, like I'm on it, but I think that there's a lot of people who just like you don't know what you don't know. And then when someone says something like that, they're like, I can't believe you said that. I can't wait
Triggered. They
until it
get
becomes a
triggered.
little more mainstream.
I know, right? There's just, I mean, I wished so badly that, like, I mean, I'm kind of glad that I figured it out,
Hmm.
but there were so many years. I mean, I wanted to kill myself more than once, I mean, more than 10 times maybe, and it was only after I'd had kids, the thought of them finding me or them not having a mum. That's the one thing that I was like, I
Yeah.
can't do that to them. But I mean, it was years long this journey altogether. With me sort of
Hmm.
struggling and trying, and it was literally sheer determination. It was like I'm determined to to figure out why I'm behaving this way for one, and then learning how to have relationships that are not blowing up everywhere, or I'm
Yeah.
running this way and then that way and I'm come here and go away. But again, it's because I'm sort of scared in my own skin, basically. And we don't want to live a whole life like that.
No, it's a lot to deal with. And then there's like a lot of people when they look at putting the work into self-development and healing themselves, they're like, oh, I don't have the time to do it, or it's so much effort, or it's
Mm,
hard basically. But then when you look back at how you're living and everything you have to experience for years on end, it's like, would you rather take that 6 months to a year of like consistent work to feel better in your day-to-day life, or would you rather
mm,
just hate the way you're feeling for the next 5, 10, however many years,
yeah.
it's it's a lot.
Yeah. And you'll go back and forth, like, you're right, I'm doing it. And then you might do 3 months and be like, oh my God, I can't do it. And I'm really like an advocate of
That's me.
follow those. Yeah, but that's allowed. We're allowed to do that. Like
Yeah.
there's no straight line. It's a messy ball of wool.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think for me the key is learning that life isn't, there's not like a formula. Because I think because I was so kind of controlling all the time, it was like I was thinking that no, there's a way that you do life, and it's this way, and it was quite wooden and stiff, and you have to do this way and go in this linear pattern. But
Yeah.
what I'm discovering is there's no rules, and it's just learning to feel yourself and follow that. Like the body knows what it wants. It knows when you need to rest and you need to move and have fun. And movement also is good. Like I regularly go walking now because that really helps to kind of keep
Yes.
the
A daily
nervous system in
walk.
check. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So just listen to yourself and follow your own journey. If you fall off the healing wagon for a bit, good. Just fall off and allow yourself.
Yeah. Give yourself the rest. Yeah.
Mm,
And like let whatever you have been doing just kind of integrate and like see how it feels. And where like eventually you'll start noticing things where like, okay, actually, maybe this needs a little more work. And you'll have, because you've taken the time off and you haven't been on, quote
mm,
unquote, for so long, you'll actually be excited and have the energy to kind of dive back into it. So the breaks are actually, I think, quite good. Like I do shadow work, I want to say once every 6 months. Like I
right.
just,
Yeah.
it's like a cycle. It's like I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Because if you do it all the time, it's a lot and it brings up a lot of triggers and like it can be very emotionally draining and it takes a toll on your system too.
Mm.
So
And it's quite unloving, isn't it? To always be, it's like having another person standing next to you saying, no, you need to fix yourself, fix yourself, fix
yeah.
yourself. That's not right. This is not right. Like it becomes something you're doing. If you're used to having these negative patterns that are destructive, which is definitely what I had, at one point, my healing journey was another extension of me being horrible to myself.
Hmm.
So, yeah, you have to be careful, really.
I think that's so important to note because a lot of people will fall into that trap where they're healing because they think there's something wrong with them that needs to be fixed when it's
Mm,
actually there's nothing wrong with us. We had experiences that caused certain reactions within our system, and all we're doing is changing them. All
mm,
we're doing is changing the outcome. There's nothing actually inherently wrong with us. And especially with things like shadow work and inner child, like people can look at it and be like, this part of me is bad. I need to change it. Or this part of me is wrong. I need to change it. And it's not that it's bad or that it's wrong. All you actually need to do is just accept it as part of who you are. And then that's
mm,
when you can actually start working through it and progressing and, not having the same kind of self doubts or self worth issues or like self sabotaging behavior because it's not a part of yourself that you're hiding away anymore. It's just the acceptance is like the biggest thing. It's not that
yeah.
there's anything wrong with you.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say this about acceptance because I think some people can think to accept is to have positive feelings about
Hmm.
something. And it's really, that's hard, especially if you're coming from, there's something wrong
Yeah.
with me and I hate myself. That's going to be difficult. But what I figured through the work that I did is I didn't have to have any positive anything about myself. If I could just sit with, and even the bit of me that's like hating it and judging myself, just invite that into the fold as well.
Hmm.
um, just the bubble of my awareness was the acceptance without me having to kind of get my head around like this forced feeling of acceptance. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
So
So,
essentially the lack of resistance was
yes,
accepting. Yeah.
yeah. Instead of me thinking that there's this, because when you think, oh, I accept you, it almost, you kind of have this assumption that you're lovingly welcoming something towards
Yeah.
you. And that's very hard when you've got a skewed perception of yourself, you don't like yourself, you can't,
Hmm.
sometimes you can't accept that that bit of you is doing that stuff that's horrible. It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, you don't have to like it or feel gushy, loving feelings towards it. It's just don't push it away.
Yeah. Just let it flow and then
Yeah,
look at it and see where it's coming from, essentially.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so important. Wow, that was so good. Um, I know that a lot of people listening are probably thinking in their head, how the F do I just sit and witness? So, do you have any tips on how you kind of like figured out how to do that and how
Mm,
they can kind of help themselves? Because for people who are used to meditating, for example, that can be an easier task because they're used to just sitting there and like letting the thoughts flow in and flow out and not feeding
mm,
into it or not trying to resist them. But for
mm.
people who don't really have any of that experience, I think it's a kind of a hard concept to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I would say that instead of sort of trying to specifically do that, if you just go quiet, like stop what you're doing and maybe spend, I don't know, 1 minute just noticing your breathing. Just notice it. Don't breathe in a specific way. Just notice the rise and fall of the chest or the sound. And then maybe take your awareness into the room. Like just notice what you can hear in the room, all the different sounds, the tiny, subtle ones, or maybe the loud ones. What can you hear outside the window or the door? What can you see? Can you name all the things in your room? Like just doing that, that's gonna shift you anyway, because it's putting your focus on something else. And then even the body, what can I feel inside? Do I like at the minute I feel hot? I'm having a hot flush, but my hands are cold. So I notice things like that. One of my feet is colder than the other. It's just shifting your focus of awareness everywhere else.
Hmm.
But you're still going to be aware of your triggers because you're going to feel that happening at the same time. So I would recommend giving that a try.
That is such a good tip. That's actually something I'm gonna try and utilize too. Because they always say that in the beginning of meditations, like listen to the sounds around you. And I'm always just like, I'm literally laying on my bed, there's no sounds. Like, but the rest of that, we're like just feeling into the body like that. Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Good.
It's simple as well, isn't it? It's like the way I like to think of it is when we were born, we came here with nothing, naked, right?
Mhm.
Everything we need is already in us. So these tools that I work with are, you don't need a pen. We can if you want, but you don't need anything other than your own heart, your body, and mind.
Yeah,
Free.
literally.
Mm.
I had an experience earlier this year with ayahuasca, and I just had the biggest download of like everything you need is within yourself. And
Mm.
that's something that I've been keeping with me this whole year, and it's made the biggest difference. Like literally all you need is within. Like you said, you don't need anything. It's all inside.
And sometimes the idea that you do is another way of keeping yourself from love. If you're frightened, it's like, oh well,
Mm.
I need a different journal. This one's not pretty enough, or I need to go to that course or do this. Like that, sometimes we can be pushing happiness further away by thinking there's more stuff that we need, but no, we don't. It's all here.
Literally all here. So this is something that you do with your clients and your coaching services. So do you want to maybe talk about what that kind of looks like and how you take people through this process?
Sure. So yeah, I'm a new coach. This is something that once I kind of got a handle on my shit, I was like, oh my God, I really want to help people, women specifically,
Yeah.
support them emotionally because I felt never supported. So I decided to start a coaching business. It's about 6 months old at the moment, so it's a baby. And yeah, basically what I do is take women through the process like I just talked about. So I help them to tap into present moment awareness, and then from there, usually they might come into a session actually with some triggers going on, like this thing happened today, my mum did this, and blah, blah, blah. And so I will normally listen to them for a minute or so, kind of let them get themselves really worked up, and then take them into that process. And we can kind of spend an hour in there tracking the body. So yeah, kind of once they're in that sort of relaxed present moment state, we can go into the body to where the main trigger is and like talk about it. What if it had a color? What color would it be? How
Mhm.
big is it? What shape is it? What texture is it? Does it have anything it wants to say? And oftentimes it does, and it will bring up something, and then we can maybe talk about that. Or over the course of like the hour, this thing will kind of get smaller. Sometimes it disappears to nothing.
Love it.
Um, yeah, or other times the client just goes off in a different direction. But we kind of really basically just follow this journey without getting caught up in these stories and know all the triggers of it all. And usually after that, they're just like, oh, they're not bothered by the thing that they were bothered by. And so that experience in itself, like once you're used to doing that a few times, you recognize that, oh my God, I don't have to follow every damn trigger that invites me.
Mm-hmm.
I can unhook and focus elsewhere. So then you learn that you've got a choice. And sometimes you might still think, well, I'm still going to shout and scream and have an argument, but that's your choice, right? Instead of being dragged around by this invisible thing. So that's
Yeah.
kind of some of the things that I would do with clients. Or we can have like sometimes depending on what they bring, but spacious conversation is another favorite thing of mine. Because a lot of times if you give someone your presence and slow everything down and kind of listen more than you talk,
Mm-hmm.
people will kind of talk themselves in and out of their own stuff and realize they had the answers inside all along.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something else that I do. And obviously with the business being so new, I'm kind of learning from the people that come in.
Mm-hmm.
See, okay, what else could I add or what else do people want? So it's a little bit of a sort of work in progress at the moment. But
That's beautiful
it's
though,
good.
because our businesses are always going to be transforming and changing when we learn new things. We learn
Yeah.
from other people. We kind of see maybe we thought people needed one thing, but actually as you take them through, it's like, no, they need like this would be better. And like, everything's changing and evolving. So I love
Mm.
that. I love that you're actually taking like your client's experience and bettering your business from it essentially is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why that was so hard to like spit out.
Some things just are, aren't they? Yeah, another thing that I do with them also is uncovering, like the beliefs that are behind the triggers.
Oh yeah, the limiting beliefs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they're the catalyst really to everything
Mm-hmm.
that happens. There's a thought first. Thought comes before thing, right?
Yeah.
So
And
I
I
like
no, no, go ahead.
no, I just kind of like that process where they realize like, oh my God, I didn't know that I thought that. I thought it was that person's fault always because they did this. And then it's like it's so rewarding, even like just for me personally, when I realized that it was me.
Yeah. And
It's
I
hard.
find that a lot too in my coaching services because I do a lot of shadow work and inner child work with my I don't like saying the word customers, but with people that I guide on their ascension journey.
Mm,
And a lot of the time it's like they have all these limiting beliefs that came from different memories in their life. But then at the end of the day, like the core belief is always the same. So it's always
mm,
like that they're not good enough or that like they're not loved or like it's like the one thing, but then there's like five different limiting beliefs that all stem off of it. And it's
yeah.
like you can just kind of see how if you work backwards, you like really get to the root cause. And it's like, there it is.
It's
Let's work on that.
unbelievable, isn't it? And
Yeah.
and it can sprout out in different ways. Like for instance, for me, like my fear of abandonment comes out in two opposite ways. Like one of them is maybe clinging desperately to something, but then the other flip side of that same fear is pushing people away.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
don't necessarily recognize that until you kind of get a massive amount of awareness and someone kind of guides you into it. It's fascinating.
You know what's really interesting? This is like a personal note now, but when you just said that, it made me realize that I'm doing that literally right now. Oh, that's so crazy. Like I knew I was doing it, but I didn't really understand why
Yeah.
because like I'm not going to go into deep detail, but in the past I've had experiences where as soon as I have friends of the opposite gender and then as soon as they get a partner, it's like they just cut me off right away because the partner's not okay with it. So now I find that if I am friends with someone and I know that they're even talking to someone else, I just like slowly back myself away because I'm like, I guess now like I don't want to be abandoned. Because before in my head I was like, oh, it's because I don't want to cause problems for them in their relationship. So I'm just going to remove myself. But actually, as soon as you said fear of abandonment, I'm like, no, that hit me. It's like I just don't
Mm,
want them to cut me off because that's what I'm scared of happening. So I'll
yeah.
do it first.
And it bloody hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, fucking sucks, man.
Yeah. It
It's
never
happened to me
feels
like 4 times.
wow.
I know.
I felt that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just friendships. That's not even relationships. That's just like my guy friends, which I
Mm,
think makes it even harder. So yeah, it is
mm.
what it is.
You have a lot of guy friends there.
Like, not really. Like I did in high school and then the way that I started making guy friends as I got older, because I feel like if you try and just be friends with a guy, it's like they always want something more. So I would start becoming friends with like guys at work because you're spending time with them all day, every day in the office, pre-pandemic, obviously. And
Mm.
like we would be like best friends, we'd be super close, we'd be like for lunch every day together, like just like office besties. And
Mm.
then like one of them literally blocked me on Instagram because his wife wasn't okay with us being friends. And I was like, all we do is chat shit about like coworkers and shit within the office. Like we're like buddy friends, but like we
Yeah.
help each other make the day go by faster. Like it's not like
Yeah.
anything's actually happening here.
Yeah, but
And
that's
so
not
like
okay.
so he was friends with me in person, but anything outside of work was like an absolute no. And I was like, this is so weird. And then I had another one who was like also I was really, really close with. And like we would talk outside of work, just like on Instagram and stuff, because we were like actual friends, not just work friends. And then he got a girlfriend and just started like slowly ghosting me. And I was like, what the heck's going on? He was like, oh, well, the girl that I'm seeing saw how much we talk and she wasn't happy with it. I'm like, dude, we're literally just friends. Like, so yeah, it's happened a few times, but
Mm.
I find it hard now to make like actual friends with guys because I feel like there's always going to be some sort of dynamic where like I'm in the way of whatever it is
Yeah.
they're doing with others. So,
Brutal.
yeah, it's
Yes.
not fun,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. I'll work through it at some point. There's something there that's causing this pattern to
Of
repeat.
course.
So I'll
Yeah.
I'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any final tips or anything for the people listening that you want to share? Any like final words of advice or just like an ending piece?
Wow. I feel so on the spot by that question. I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to come out with this some amazing sentence. I don't know. I just guess, don't give up on yourself. If you can be willing, even though it feels hard, to be curious. Like just be curious about yourself, and especially in the places where you feel like you want to run or push, there's stuff in there for you. And even though it seems scary, actually, what I find is the deeper you go in, the more beauty there is in that. If you're struggling, get help, get someone to support you so that you can kind of learn the basics. But
Mhm.
yeah, like you deserve to feel at peace with yourself. The roller coaster is never going to stop. I figured this out. I'm always going to feel. I used to think that once I'd healed, I'd be kind of like this flat line.
Mm,
Everything would feel kind of happy all the time, but it doesn't. Things feel ordinary. Some days they feel happy or extremely, and then some days I get triggered, and that's never going to stop. And so,
yeah,
the more you can make sort of peace with that and learn how to ride those waves, the more you're going to be able to get in the game and
I love that.
live.
Okay, I'm going to start now with my ending questions.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So, what is one thing you wish you did more of 5 years ago?
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That confused me for a minute. One thing I wish I did more of: trust in myself.
I love that answer. Who is someone that inspires you right now?
Me.
Love that answer too.
It's me. It definitely is.
What is one thing you do that keeps you aligned and like grounded within yourself, other than what we've just talked about this whole episode?
Oh, I would say definitely walking, and I know I mentioned that a minute ago, but music.
Mm,
Listening to music and
music's
moving,
good.
and each different mood brings a different desire of what to listen to. So letting myself kind of feel and hear the music, and then dancing or moving or whatever. I that's kind of important to me actually. Now I think about
Do you know what
it.
ecstatic dance is?
Yeah, but I've never done it.
I mean, you're doing it. Like what
Oh
you just
yeah.
described is literally ecstatic dance. That's what I was asking. And London has a
Oh,
really amazing community of ecstatic dance. I know you're not like in London, but I don't
not
know if
far though.
no. Like the some of the most amazing ecstatic dances I've been to have been with Ecstatic Dance London. So I would
Oh
highly,
really?
highly suggest you check it out. Yeah.
I'd love to. I've
They're
always
really
wanted
good.
to go, but I
I'll
just
send it to
never.
you after.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you'll love it. What is one thing that you learned this week?
Oh, this week I learned I had a couple of days where my CPTSD was really active, but I don't know the reason why.
Hmm.
And I found it hard to think. I couldn't think straight, and I was all kind of just a bit skewed and scattered. And I just had to let myself do nothing. Don't post anything. Because I was trying to be on my business. I need to say something, but I was like,
Mm.
no, you don't. The body says no. So fully, without being afraid of what could happen, just be there for yourself, like fully when it's the most hard to do it, without thinking there's something wrong with you. Because I do. I mean, I still do that every once in a while. And trust, just trust that all will be well. And I woke up this morning feeling fantastic. So that was really hard for me to kind of
Amazing.
disappear off the radar and do that.
I'm so happy for you that you actually like honored yourself in that way and did that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Did that answer your question? Because I feel like I might have slightly went off to the side.
Yeah, no, it was what have you learned? So you learned to basically like just listen and
Trust my
actually do.
body
Yeah.
and without panicking that my life's going to go to shit if I don't do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you and how they can work with you if they're interested?
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, I'm not in many places currently. I'm just on Facebook actually. So I would really appreciate if you're on there. I am Facebook/, courageously Carly. Um, so I'm looking to increase my friends list on there. But that's where I'm at. That's where I do my posts. I also have a YouTube channel that I've just started, and I am doing these little sort of conversations with interesting women. Um, so I'm on there as well. That's also called Courageously Carly. So I'm on my third episode at the minute. So that would be
Nice.
great. Yeah, to get a bit of support on there. But yeah, it's just Facebook right now. So and at the moment I have a little offer. I call it like a low commitment offer for people to just kind of try my work out. But it's like 4 sessions over a month.
Hmm.
It's £444.
Love it. Angel
And
number.
yeah, it's 4 sessions and Voxer access to me like Monday to Saturday, where you can get a taste of doing the emotional work with support, see whether it's a fit, and then if you like it, you can do it again.
Love that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the episode. The light in me acknowledges the light in each and every one of you. And I hope that you have the most wonderful day coming from two people just like you.